Yeah, we were talking about this before, but Kelazhur, he's already had an amazing run today, surprising so many people by taking down both Lambo and we can see the cheerful there from Yaku as well. Kelazhur making it here to the semifinals is already a great feat. Can he go further? I would still say that he is the underdog, he's still the dark horse, but he's already made the impossible possible, so what is one more series?
Indeed. I mean, going into this, I don't think anybody would have expected Kelazhur to be able to take out Classic. I don't think anybody counted on him to take out Lambo, but here we are now in our lower semifinals. Here in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player coming down from the land of Korea, representing On-Side Gaming, OSG, and already showing some very impressive ZvT tonight. He is Sola.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressfarm, we have as opponent, we have the Brazilian Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Kelazhur.
I believe in the Kela god, who immediately is setting up a low ground wall. Very interesting. I mean,
yeah,
we've seen this a couple of times.
Well, we see this all the time. Yeah, we see this all the time from Bjorn, but really interesting to see Kelazhur kind of take from him here.
Yeah. Well, I guess that shouldn't be too surprising. You know, they do call him the Brazilian Bjorn for a reason. I shouldn't call him that, actually.
Everyone calls him that. True,
the Bjorn of Brazil.
So yeah, really interesting choice here from Kelazhur. I know that a lot of Terran players out there have been theory crafting. They've been examining Bjorn's play because Bjorn, it feels like he may have caught on to something that no one else has, because Bjorn, literally every single ZvT goes for 2 Rax openers, but Kelazhur isn't. He sets up a low ground Rax, but he's going for a Rax expand nonetheless.
Yeah, it's still a Reaper expand coming out from Kelazhur. This is, yeah, I'm curious as to what the rationale behind this is. I mean, I'm thinking of, you know, typical TVZ where at least for the longest, the most standard thing you can do, I think, in a TVZ after going for a Reaper expand is to go for your 1-1-1 and to set up a wall with your 3rd CC outside of your natural base. But so in a way, this kind of gives you your low base wall a little bit sooner, but I'm not sure if there's much of an advantage to it compared to the alternative. I guess at the same time, there's also not much of a downside. You could argue that the production is a bit more vulnerable, but it doesn't seem that much more vulnerable, so yeah. Maybe a bit of a stylistic thing.
I mean, this is very greedy from Kelazhur, and as you were saying, the production is going to be much more vulnerable as a result. Also, the downside of this opener from Kelazhur compared to what Bjorn usually does is that he's going to have a lot less pressure on the map. He's only going to have a single Reaper, so because of that, Sola can go into a pretty standard, you know, setup overall. And I'm curious if he's going to be looking to punish this as well. The problem is that if the natural ever gets broken, then of course we're not just breaking the natural, we're also breaking the production of Kelazhur.
Kelazhur. As his barracks floats back home. I guess while Kelazhur notices, or while Kelazhur confirms that Solar is droning up, focusing on droning up, it hasn't made too many lings. Yeah, he knows he can get away with this. He doesn't need to wall off so soon, but I'm liking the cojones on Kelazhur is what I'm saying. He's playing so greedy right now, and he knows he can get away with it, at least for the time being.
Yeah, so I kind of like this. I think this means that, again, if the natural ever does get broken by a roach push, you know, Kelazhur, he has production back in the main base instead. He does have the starport up here. He's going to be able to go for the add-on swap as well. So, yeah, this kind of comes together from Kelazhur, it's starting to make a little bit more sense. It's a little bit less kind of risky as it otherwise would be if he did keep his production here on the low ground.
And it's not like he's doing this blind either, you know? He still has his Reaper active on the map. He's still checking the production and checking the tech choices of Solar. So if this Reaper went down earlier, I 100% don't think Kelazhur would have committed to this low ground wall. But since he can, he might as well do it, you know?
Yeah, he is setting this up to begin with. Behind this Solar, he's not really too disturbed by it. He's like, okay, I'm just going to be saturating my 3 bases. I'm getting my lair on time, and this is what I assumed would happen. We have a Roach Warren behind the natural, so we are going to be working towards a Roach Warren, but before that happens, the Hellions are getting into the mineral line.
And they do roast a couple of workers. Kelazhur is staying very, very safe with his Hellions. He doesn't want to suicide them unnecessarily. I wonder if he was able to catch a couple of Cures games, a couple of Cures ZvTs, and, you know, if he wants to try to go for that, Hellbat 1-1 timing, and just have those Hellbats keep his tanks alive.
Yeah, well, he's going to be going for Hellbats, but something very different. As an armory gets thrown down very quickly, this is going to be a much more, quote-unquote, standard Hellbat Banshee push, but he has to be careful not to throw away these Hellions. 2 Hellions already go down.
A little bit an unfortunate, an unfortunate rally there from Kelazhur. The Hellions do get aggroed into the base of Solar, where he's able to just pick away at them with his queens.
Yeah, Kelazhur maybe a little bit greedy. He saw an opening, but the opening was not real. It wasn't really a safe way in. And here we go. The armory is now done. Behind this, Kelazhur is going into mech.
And I am very, very worried for Kelazhur right now because the drop alert just finished up from Solar. He has stopped droning at 58 workers. He is moving across the map with literally every unit that is built to attack.
Yeah, and this may just be the game-winning move here from Solar. I don't know how he read the situation. Maybe he saw the low ground wall and he was like, okay, I can abuse this. As we push across the map with these roaches, with the queens as well.
But he is isolating the queens, or isolating the roaches a little bit with this sort of surround. Lings do dive on top of the Hellbat, on top of the Hellbats more than anything else. And we have 3 Banshees to deal with the roaches. The queens stayed alive, which means that they are able to transfuse, but I think this is still fine for Kelazhur.
I mean, he lost every single Hellion, and the production is now going to be under threat as well. The wall is soon not to be a wall. We pull the boys, we're trying to repair as best we can.
Yeah, it was fine for Kelazhur until it wasn't. The fact that these 2 queens stayed alive was absolutely huge. And they were able to provide a lot of anti-air, zoning the Banshees away from the rest of the army. Solar slips in and he takes out every single worker that was in the low ground, that was in the natural base.
Yeah, 17 SCVs go down. The boys do come back here to try and defend. Kelazhur wants to try to hold on to his production, to his natural base. And it looks like he's going to be able to focus down at these roaches at least, but he loses every single SCV.
Yeah, Kelazhur defends, but at what cost? Well, at a cost of 30 SCVs, which is a little bit excessive to say the least. That's, I guess, another downside of going for, specifically going for mech when you are going for a low ground wall like this.
Yeah, exactly. There is a window where you just really don't have too much of an army, or you're relying so much on Hellions to defend. You're not making any tanks. You know, you don't really have too many Marines either. We do see the Lings once again dipping on into that mineral line, just getting a couple more of those SCVs.
Factory will burn down. Definitely wasn't the only factory here from Kelazhur, but yeah, losing in factory this early on when you are going for mech play is very, very painful. He's even forced to throw down a scan to get rid of the creep tumor when, at this point, Kelazhur really wants to just mule up as hard as possible. Solar wasn't all in by any means. He resumes droning and will be able to keep this game going. He even got a Spire at some point while all this was going on.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up because this is a 1-2 punch. We initially pushed with roaches with things behind us. We droned up, we saturated our bases, we took our gases, we threw down a Spire, and now Mutas are looking to end the game. GG gets called as soon as they're revealed, and Solar takes game number 1.
So well read coming out here from Solar. Very, very good adaptations and very, very good reactions as well coming out from him. It was a bit of a risky move there from Kelazhur, a very greedy move going for the low ground wall like that, and Solar scouted that, and he said, yo, didn't anybody ever tell you that greed was a sin? Didn't the nuns of Brazil beat that into you? Well, I'm about to show you.
There we go. Solar, he is known as the Nun by many, and he does just whip out that that punishment as he does
that
take
ruler.
There you go, mate. There you go. Does take the first game against Kelazhur, and now we're going to be getting into game number 2. Again, very unique play out of Kelazhur. I don't expect to see that on another map. I feel like that's very unique to Gresvan, just because Gresvan is a bit of a larger map, and we do have quite a large entryway into the natural base as well, so he maybe wanted to just make it a little bit more robust. Oh, but yeah, despite the cheekiness of that build, it doesn't quite work out, and now we get into game number 2.
Indeed, we are. A little bit of a trivia here. Solar has laddered on NA, but only as Protoss.
Solar is Diamond with his Protoss, we can confirm. Just maybe using it to blow off some steam, you know.
Yeah. I died to Archon, so now I'm gonna Archon everyone else.
Let's go.
I died to Cannon Rush, so now I'm gonna Cannon Rush, and if I'm gonna be a clown, I might as well do it on the clown server. You know? As we load into game number 2 here of this best of 3 semifinals here on Royal Blood. We're in the top right-hand corner of the map, coming down from the top right-hand corner of the map, spotting in from the land of Korea. He's going to be representing On-Side Gaming, OSG, the brightest of all of the pro gamers. He is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have as opponent, we have the Brazilian Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Kelazhur.
Oh boy, getting his racks on the high ground this time.
True, we should point that out.
Yeah.
This time we do have a standard racks placement out of Kelazhur. Not going to be going for any kind of weird, cheeky, low ground wall shenanigans with the add-on swaps. I mean, I can see the logic behind it, but again, we saw that Solo was having none of it.
None of it. Like a province in Canada.
Yeah. Have we loaded in? Have we come in from there before?
At some point, probably. We have. Look, we cast from a lot of different locations.
We do.
You know, we come in live from a lot of different places in the world. I'm sure we've casted from none of it at some point.
We need someone to keep track. We need a compilation of all the intros from Yaku throughout the years to figure out where we've been and where we haven't.
Well, that's what Vortex Slam was trying to do at a certain point, but then he got too busy and he had to give up on it.
It was too much.
We just travel way too much. We are too worldwide.
We are Mr. Worldwide, and oh boy, speaking of worldwide, I'm curious to see how Kelazhur is going to try and respond and react here in game number 2. Was never able to really get into his mech style that I'm sure he really wanted to, so he could try that again and try to find some success here on Royal Blood. Wouldn't be a bad map for it, but before that happens, we have a little bit of a dance between our units. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Ah. Kelazhur able to take out a couple of Lings, but does lose his Reaper as a cost of it. Wasn't able to take out the first Tumor as well, so Solar is going to be coming into this game with a very high mental.
Yeah, a bit of a rough trade there from Kelazhur. A little bit too greedy. He dove on in. He smelled blood. But you know what? That blood that he smelled, it was his own, as he does lose his Reaper for 2 Lings. Not worth it in the end. Behind this, we do see him going into a 3cc opener, and Solar isn't going to capitalize on the lack of scouting. He's not going to throw down any kind of early Roach Warren.
Yeah, he's not really one to do that. He did go for Roaches in the last game, but you know, that was mostly tribute for Dark, you know? So it's not really one to go for Roaches, as he much prefers Lingbane.
He typically does, as we're going to be getting into this. Third base getting up and running. Likewise, Kelazhur's going for the add-on swap as well, so it is going to be for Banshees. We'll see if he does invest into Cloak as well. For the time being, Vanilla Banshees.
Oh. What a flavor. Yeah, when you don't have Cloak, yeah. That's premiumist.
What do you
sneeze here right at the end, but I stopped sneezing. It's late. I'm trying to keep myself awake. Just letting my mouth talk.
Stay with me, Yaku.
Just letting my mouth talk, you
Listen,
know?
we're almost done, fam. We got 2 more series to go. We got this in the finals. Like, you can make it. You can make it, fam. You can make it.
Let's go.
It's getting late here. It's getting late as we do see the Hellions just diving into the natural base. The Evo chamber wall is a little bit late, and as a result, drones are going to get roasted, but at the cost of every one of those Hellions.
Yeah, not a very good trade here from Kelazhur. It was just 4 Hellions, you know, but yeah, he's definitely slipping a little. When it comes to the control, he's definitely slipping a little bit in this game. He's taking a lot of risks, and they haven't really paid off for him just yet.
Yeah, we got 6 drones in total, which was okay damage, but again, we did kind of give up a lot of map control for that, and now Solar is free to spread his creep without those pesky Hellions to stop him. We do have the Banshees slipping on in, but I believe there is only a single Banshee. We never got Cloak. We're gonna get 1 drone, but only 1 drone.
That's all he needs.
If only that were true.
That's all he needs. Yeah.
At least he keeps it alive, so
Yeah.
you can find some more damage. Yeah.
Yeah, he might make another Banshee to meet it. Oh no, he swapped the add-ons around. That's if he does make another Banshee, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, as it looks like we have remade some of our Hellions, and we're going to be looking to just assert ourselves on the map. We get a decent chunk of these creep tumors, but back at home, Solar, he's got his lair, he's got his bathing nest, we have a bathing speed on the way, we're getting into 1-1 as well. Solar hasn't really been slowed down too much here, is looking pretty comfortable as we get into the mid-game.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Both players just focusing on their macro, trying to get into their mid-game. Solar is done droning for the time being. 73 workers is all you really need at this stage of the ZvT. It's very much on Kelazhur to be able to hit this 1-1 timing and try to keep Solar back. Economically, the Banshee goes down.
And she does go down. Unfortunately, it only got a single drone in the end, so again, not really too worth it here for Kelazhur. A lot of his aggression, a lot of his units out on the map have been cleaned up. And again, that's just 1 less unit that can slow down the creep of Solar. And the last time we saw Solar on this map, the creep did get out of control.
Oh yeah. It encroached on far onto Kuro's side of the map. Because of creep for the longest time, Kuro's just unable to get a 5th base up and running.
Exactly, he was starved out, he was choked out, but here we go. Kelazhur is moving out with his army. He's got 3 tanks, and he's going to be looking to position himself here against the wall. Do we have enough to defend? We have 36 Lings on the way. The Lings are going for a counterattack instead.
Yeah, huge counterattack. The wall is not a wall, but there are reinforcements to keep them at bay. Kelazhur was watching Cure. He does have a lot of Hellions ready to turn to Hellbats, but 21 SCVs go down to the Banelings.
Yeah, exactly. The entire middle line at the 3rd base goes down. Meanwhile, that 4th base for Solar is looking quite low, but here we go. We come in from behind. We get a full surround.
Yeah, Hellbats unfortunately not quite able to provide enough safety here for Kelazhur, sorry. Solar just had way too much. It's so low. That hatchery is so low. He wants to take it out. I want him to take it out.
He stims on forward. He does focus down one of the queens at least, but the Ling Bane is here to stop him, and it looks like Solar will hold on for the time being. But Kelazhur, he is reinforcing. He does have an additional tank with his army. He wants to kill that hatchery.
And you know, the army supplies are pretty even. Yeah, that hatchery should go down now.
Yeah, there we go. We should see the hatchery going down. Meanwhile, did we overextend a little bit? Okay, there we go. We do see Kelazhur backing off in time. At the same time, another Ling counterattack.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. It's even lower now. Come on.
How is that?
Solar doing such a good job defending that base with so little.
Somehow, some way, the hatchery survives. The Kelazhur turns back around. He doesn't want to get surrounded. He was aware that, of course, the Lings did go for a counterattack, and he does back off.
I gotta go to bed tonight, and my nightmares are just gonna be this one image. Oh, this hatchery, that's so low. I'm sure it's the same for Kelazhur as well. Solar has been able to survive long enough, has been able to mine for long enough that he has so much momentum going his way. He has taken complete control of the map, and he is transitioning to Hydras.
Yeah, Ling Bane Hydra is Solar's composition of choice. Right now, he's going to be lacking that anti-air, though, so it looks like Diego Kelazhur can go all the way into the main base with that double drop, and is expanding and taking his 4th base behind this.
And this is exactly what Diego does best. Drop play is the name of the game. The Marine Run By. The Marine Run By isn't able to get the hatchery! He wants it so bad! I want him to take it so bad. But Solar is protected. Solar has so much protection.
Yeah, he does, but he doesn't have too much creep here, so he's a little bit vulnerable. Here we go. Another massive Marine army does rock up, and there's not enough Ling Bane. It looks like Kelazhur is going to be able to stim one forward.
It goes down in the end. Worth it.
There we go. At the same time, the double drop tries to dip in, but no, Solar has eyes on this, both in the main and at his 5th base. He has plenty to defend. Did lose his 4th, though.
Yeah, which is definitely unfortunate. Actually, very unfortunate here, as yeah, Solar's on about an even base count to Kelazhur, which isn't ideal. Solar, I mean, because of his transition, because of how quickly he was able to tech up, isn't going to be bleeding out too many resources because of it, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, regardless, a good win there for Kelazhur to kill that hatchery in the end. But Solar has maxed out. He's got 2-2, he's got Ling Bane, he's got Hydras, he's looking for these fights on the map. On top of that, he has anti-air to clean up these drops.
Yeah, Solar is not quite at his final form yet, but he's getting pretty dang close. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for Kelazhur to be able to continue to harass him because of the anti-air potential, and as you just pointed out, Lurker Den is on the way. It's very much synced up to the Hive, but he might not even need the Lunkers.
Yeah, the Lunker Den has been thrown down, so Solar can take up into that Hive tech if he so chooses. Meanwhile, Kelazhur is going to have a bit of a window here where he has an upgrade advantage. He does have 3-3 on the way, much faster compared to Solar, so that will help him a little bit. But is it going to be enough to make up for the amount of control that Solar has? The creep is getting towards that halfway mark across the map, and Kelazhur can't really contest it.
He's gonna try, but I'm not sure it's gonna work out too well for him. Look at all these medevacs. That's the Diego Flotilla.
Oh,
you'll love to see it.
There we go. Kelazhur is going to be moving out towards the left-hand side of the map. Not too much creep here, to be fair, so we can make use of that area on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, the tanks, they get caught unsieged.
Yeah, nice free splitting right at the end here from Kelazhur, but like you said, the tanks being on siege was a little bit too much. A lot of bio still survives. Banshees, Banelings weren't quite able to get their connections.
And not quite in the end. Meanwhile, at the same time, the double drop tries to go into the main base, tries to go towards the 5th as well, but no, there is no way in. Units are all over the place. That was a bit of an inefficient fight from Solar, by the way. I don't know if you saw, but he did connect most of his Banelings on the tanks. He did kill the tanks, but again, not the best trade overall. So Kelazhur is able to have a little bit of momentum going his way. He's pushing on forward. Oh, but Vipers are now out.
Yeah, I finished up behind that engagement, and now the Vipers are going to be a very major player here, whether they're yoinking tanks or even throwing down the blinding clouds. Oh, they could even parasitic bomb a little bit.
Yeah, there we go. We have those blinding clouds. The tanks once again are going to be going down here on the left-hand side. At the same time, this center base is not going to get up and running. Lings and Banelings are looking to stop him as Solar just takes that map control.
Like so. He'll be able to deny this base of Kelazhur as another drop gets cleaned up. No, actually, keeps it alive. How do you like them potatoes?
Does he keep alive, but for how long? As it does get focused down. Baneling's going to be rolling on in as well. Another tank does fall as well, but there's a little bit too much, so Solar does have to respect this. He does back off. Ooh.
Yeah, a bit of an inefficient trade coming out here from Solar, but of course he can't afford it. He can't afford it. As long as he's able to keep the economy of Kelazhur down.
Yeah, exactly. He did get a kill on that CC. Meanwhile, the double drop, that was just such a thorn on a Solar's side. did go down. It was a little bit of what seemed to be an all-army hockey there from Kelazhur. Did pull them out of position, and they have been dealt with. Oh!
As a massive engagement comes into his 5th base once again, blinding clouds get thrown down left and right. Banelings are finally getting on top of Marines. A huge connection here in the end. As Kelazhur once again is forced to lift up, but Solar is running out of steam. A Remax, however, will put a stop to that for the time being. Lurkers are now in play. And there's no detection over at this side of the map.
There is no detection. We can see Kelazhur, after taking Banelings to the face, is having a really hard time remaxing. He needs more time. He plummets in the supply. Meanwhile, Solar barely dips in his as he instantly remaxes. Lurkers are forcing scans, and oh no, the Marines! Okay, well.
Oh, nice split right at the end here from Kelazhur, but the scan runs out a little bit too soon. Kelazhur's winning that engagement, but bleeding out units. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Kelazhur, Solar is just running his way through.
Yeah, he just overwhelms the army in the center of the map. GG gets called, and Solar will take the series 2-0 and move on to the grand finals.
Very nicely done here from Solar. GG, well played with 635 APM here from Solar. He is speeding his way through. He's getting so much faster recently, but yeah, very nicely done here. Kelazhur, commiserations and congratulations to Kelazhur for making it this far. And you know what? He's not out yet. There is still the bronze match between him and MaxPax. That's going to go down over there. But yeah, this was, I think, a lot further than a lot of people were expecting from Kelazhur, and I wanted to believe here in the TVZ, but unfortunately Solar was just a little bit too prepared for the matchup.
Yeah, again, Kelazhur was the underdog. He was the dark horse here in the semis, but as we mentioned earlier, for Kelazhur to make it this far is very impressive in and of itself, and I hope he's really happy with his performance. As you mentioned, he still has another match ahead of him. You know, we still have some more games to go as we do head on over to the Asia server. But yeah, best of luck to Kelazhur against MaxPax, and again, I hope he's feeling pretty good about how far he went today, taking down Classic, taking down Rainer as well, taking down Lambo as well. So really impressive stuff from Diego.